Hello and welcome to round one of the 2017 Formula Virtual World Championship here from Phillip Island, Australia. My name is Bradley Downton and I'll be joined today, as always, by Harry Westwood.
G'day, mate.
Let's take a look at the grid then for the season opening V-Prix. Nathaniel Powers is on pole position for Downton's maiden pole. It's Elroy Wagner second. Adrian Seamon, the world champion, lines up third ahead of Judson Sykes, a shock fourth for North Star. Klaas van Snelheid is fifth on his debut ahead of Timo Kinnaman. Finn Schneider seventh, heads Enrique Ruiz on row 4, while Arden Hutchinson and Alexei Nowasinki round out the top 10. Behind them it's Felix Baer and Alar Kanga also on his debut. James Harding heads Aaron Einarsson on row 7 ahead of Kiara Thunder and Johan Halverson. Jochen van Snelheid, having moved to Franklin, heads row 9 ahead of Will Hoskins, who's now at AMR. Carson Davenport and Douglas Bacon fill out the top 20. Behind them, Nikolai Milkovic and Carl Beckenbauer, Stuart Harrison and Puccio Giordano, and on the back row of the grid, John Matson and Olin Inman, who failed to set a time during qualifying. So, as we head down to the grid then, we've got Nathaniel Powers on pole on the right, Elroy Wagner second on the left. The lights go out now and we're racing at Phillip Island. It's a cracking start for Nathaniel Powers from pole position as Elroy Wagner slots into second behind Adrian Seamon third, and Klaas van Snelheid is already past Judson Sykes up to fourth as they take turn one. Powers leading.
Yeah, nice and clean through the first couple of corners. Pretty high speed.
Oh, it's wide from Adrian Seamon, and that's giving Klaas van Snelheid a nose up the inside, but he can't quite draw alongside to get the place.
Obviously, Klaas in his Formula Virtual debut, he'll be looking to make a bit
of
a...
and he's up the inside of the world champion now, into third place, or is he? No, Seamon holding it around the outside on this opening lap, but the rookie clearly not afraid to take any prisoners.
Absolutely not, taking the fight to the world champion in that world champion car, so it's going to be interesting to see how this fight unfolds. I reckon it's going to be a bit of a ding-dong battle for them, really.
Yeah, the opening lap of his career, and he's already taking the fight to the reigning world champion. We see Alar Kanga losing places, hand over fist.
Maybe he's got damage on his car because he is going quite slowly.
So we'll have to keep an eye on that then, as that was just briefly on board with Jochen van Snelheid in the Franklin, as we've got one of the Hongfists down the inside of an AMR, as jump on board with Adrian Seamon as we complete the opening lap of the season here at Phillip Island. Seamon looking down the inside of Wagner at turn 1, but that's a very quick corner. I'd be surprised if he was going to pull an overtake there. Behind him, that's Klaas van Snelheid down the inside of turn 2, but Seamon once again holds it around the outside, but Klaas has got up the inside and he is into third place.
What a move there, like, it was just well executed. He saw that Seamon ran wide and was very opportunistic to actually take the place. Good overtake.
Yeah, and that's giving Judson Sykes a run, but Sykes has slightly misjudged that, and that's giving the two Westwoods behind a look in, and they're all queuing up here.
Schneider has already managed to get past his teammate on the softer tyres, as that's very close there from Jochen van Snelheid.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to refer to them as Jochen and Klaas this season. It's just going to be easier.
Yeah. Wait. Oh, yeah. Jochen and Klaas is going to be faster. By the way, worth noting, Kiara Thunder is already out of this V-Prix. We'll hopefully get a replay. Thanks. I'm the god of TV.
Yeah, so Kiara then didn't even get away from the grid.
But as we enter lap 3 of 69, we've got that. Oh, which one is that? That's not Wagner, that's for sure. What's the other one he's running?
Harding. James Harding
is being harassed by Alar Kanga, who I can only assume is trying to make up the lost ground. Powers still leads comfortably out the front. Oh, Klaas goes for a move up the inside of Wagner. They're side by side. There's a really tight bend there. There's not a lot of space, and Wagner manages to hold it with the wider line. But he knows that Klaas is going to be sniffing around for that position.
Absolutely, Klaas is showing he's really fighting in these opening laps of, let's not forget, his career in Formula Virtual.
Exactly, but then it's what we've come to expect from him coming up through the Formula. He's been that kind of driver.
As he's made a mistake there though. He's left the door open on the inside, and Adrian Seamon is not going to need a second invitation. He's straight up the inside and through back into third, and Judson Sykes is now going to try and move around the outside of the Dutchman. Is the Russian going to pull it off? He is, up into 4th for Judson
Yeah,
Sykes. What a beauty.
Yeah, and obviously that slowed everyone else up, and now there's just carnage, and the first has managed to take the Westwood of Kinnaman.
Yeah, that was Arden Hutchinson.
Bit of wild action there on that lap, but it was a very good move from Adrian Simon, and kind of caught Klaas off guard a little bit, I'm guessing from his lack of experience, but there's only so many times he's going to make that mistake.
Yeah, absolutely. But you can see here how just one small error can cost you so many places and such a huge amount of time as it bottles everyone up.
Exactly. As we see another attack from Arden Hutchinson, but he's almost left the door open there to Mo Kinnaman. What a lovely angle.
Just to note then, Nathaniel Powers not really pulling away up front, though he is on the hard tyres, whereas both Elroy Wagner on the mediums and Adrian Simon on the softs.
Interesting.
So
choice.
I wouldn't be surprised if those positions switched around.
Definitely not. I think it's an interesting choice from anyone that went on softs, because I believe both of the DS Matheshaws are on softs, if I'm not mistaken.
They are indeed, yes.
Obviously, in this temperature, they could suffer from quite some substantial thermal degradation. Look at Judson Sykes. He's actually pulled away from Klaas, and he's catching up to these top 3 here. 4, 5.
Yeah, absolutely. As Adrian Simon sets the fastest laps, but that's just been taken by Judson Sykes. The Russian really going for it in his North Star.
He's really getting the job done in that car, which was easy to say. It was really nowhere last year, but they seem to have done a good job over the winter for Judson.
Well, yeah, I mean, but let's not forget, North Star were a new team last season.
Yeah, so for them to be mixing up with the big boys, bear in mind, it's not a tyre advantage either. He's not on the super softs or the softs even. He's on the medium tyre, so all we're witnessing is raw pace from the Russian.
Absolutely, is a solid performance so far from him then, as we jump on board briefly with Adrian Simon, but slightly further back. Alar Kanga is still stuck behind James Harding for the time being.
He's stuck there.
I think that battling over 11th place there.
I don't know.
Hey, it was a disappointing qualifying for the Estonian.
He seemed to.
He was only 12th.
Yes, he seemed to be struggling a bit with the car and the balance, unless I'm mistaken.
No way, he was definitely struggling.
Well, clearly, to be qualifying down that low.
As Adrian Simon right up behind Elroy Wagner then as they were round turn 1. It looked as though maybe he was considering a move into turn 2, and he was, I think, but just wasn't quite the space there on the inside. As further back, I think we saw Jochen van Snelheid all over the back of Felix Bayer in the AMR.
I believe you were correct. I know that it was a Franklin and a car.
It's surprising that, isn't it, in a Formula Virtual race?
How peculiar. Oh, it might have been this pair actually. Ooh. Some very good close battles on there. As you were saying earlier, still very bunched up, still a bit of a queue going on.
Yeah, it certainly looks like a very tight field.
Absolutely.
Already this season.
Must say, I think Ingram are going to be disappointed with their outing today. Not looking overly prepared at testing, what with not bringing a livery right to the last day. And, well, their pace and reliability really showed, or rather, their lack of showed in pre-season as well. So they'll be looking to work on that.
I think Ingram are just going to be disappointed with their season, to be frank.
Well, it's a long old
and we're
year.
7 laps in.
It is a long old year. I mean, what we've witnessed cars develop pace out of nowhere. We had Lucas in 2013, I want to say, 14.
Yes, the first
13.
season.
We had Westwood obviously in 2015.
Yeah, but you weren't as far back as Ingram are.
No one's as far back as
Ingram have sort of returned to their 2013 form when they were back of the grid with Fun and Downton. In fact, Fun are back there as well.
Downton are the only ones that have graduated from the class.
Yes.
Although they were there last season while Fun and the other one, Ingram. Enjoyed it at the front of the grid. Anyway,
Yes,
back
absolutely.
to the racing. Class is still very much on the back of Judson, and they're all very bunched up now again.
Yeah, I did notice Enrique Ruiz was past Timo Kinnaman, although from that camera angle, it looks as though he slipped back behind the Finnish driver. As that is Kanga past Harding and Alexei Novosinki now. So Alar Kanga putting some moves on and is up into 10th place.
You've got to wonder what's going on with Novosinki just real quick, because I mean, he's definitely not enjoying that car as much as Sykes is. Sykes, you can see the way he's chucking it into the corners. He's genuinely enjoying it. He feels comfortable. Oh, that's contact.
That's Adrian Simon on Elroy Wagner for 2nd place.
Wow, so he's getting very racy in the opening round, taking a few risks that he probably doesn't need to. Sykes is ready to pounce on any mistake they're going to make.
Yeah, and Sykes looked like he had a run there, and that
outside.
Yeah, that's put Class right back on them as well. So that's now pretty much 5 for the lead.
Wow.
On lap 8 here of the Australian V-Prix.
And don't forget, if they keep holding each other up, they're going to bring into play not only Finn Schneider, but Arden Hutchinson and Timo Kinnaman as well. So they're waiting in the wings. Gotta say, it's all looking really tight today.
Yeah, it certainly is, as once again they close up under braking. I suppose we should just mention a minute that, as I'm sure viewers will have noticed, we're not at Melbourne, our traditional season opener.
What do you mean?
If you haven't noticed, we're not at Melbourne. We're actually at Phillip Island today.
I don't believe you.
Although that sign did just say Melbourne.
I don't believe you. He's lying to us.
Yeah, I don't believe me either at the moment, as Enrique Ruiz and then Alar Kanga set the fastest laps, as the race just starting to settle into a little bit of a rhythm now.
Yeah, struggling with a safety issue on the Albert Park circuit with a slight sort of, I can't really describe it, it's like a warp, like a crack in the actual tarmac, meaning that drivers were forced to take an abnormal line, which wasn't safe. Anyway, as we've got a Westwood Cup, is that coming under attack or attacking someone?
I think that was Alar Kanga going past Timo Kinnaman.
Yes, we've dropped 2 places there to Enrique Ruiz and Alar Kanga. So he'll be looking to get those back as soon as he can with their rebranded livery, which I just thought I'd drop in there because they're mine.
Oh, is that Simon down the inside of Elroy Wagner? Is he going to be able to hold it around the outside of this corner? He is, and Adrian Simon on the soft tyres is finally past Wagner and up into 2nd place. And Sykes is now having a look at the German as well, but I don't think he's quite going to make that move just yet.
Well, I got to say, that overtake was fantastic. Had such faith in the car to get slowed down and such slow late braking, and here comes Klaas on the inside now. That's a very brave move, but he backs out of it.
Yeah, he didn't fancy that one.
No. One of the best lessons you can learn is some battles to win.
As just a note, both Carl Beckenbauer and Stuart Harrison are in the pits. Those were 2 of the 3 drivers on the super soft tyres, so they have only managed 9 laps here then.
So that's going to take them to... They're going to be looking at 7 stops.
Yeah, I reckon they might be in for a long day.
Yeah.
Here in these 32-degree temperatures.
Okay. They can treat it as some extra testing, gather some data about the cars.
They certainly can. It's, I suppose, let's just... While there's not a huge amount going on, although I say that, it looks as though Ruiz and Kanga are about to go side by side, but maybe not. Please feel free to interrupt me if anything happens. I'm just going to run through the tyres quickly.
They're turning left. Sorry, go on.
On the super softs, we have both Ocelots of Carl Beckenbauer and Puccio Giordano, and the Meteor of Stuart Harrison. As I've just noticed Adrian Simon right up the exhaust pipe with Nathaniel Powers for the lead of this race.
Definitely putting the pressure on him, as we've got an Ocelot in the pits there.
Yeah, that'll be Giordano then, after Beckenbauer pitted on the last lap.
Definitely reminds me of the Mano from 2016.
Okay.
Anyway.
On the soft tyres, we have both the DS Mathershaw drivers of Adrian Simon and Alar Kanga. We also have the Lopez of James Harding, the Meteor of Johan Halverson, the Fun of Olin Inman, the First of Arden Hutchinson, and the Holmquist of Kiara Thunder, although obviously she's out, so that's pointless.
Yeah.
On the mediums, is the mediums probably the most widely chosen tyre for this race, although is that Simon down the inside of Powers?
It is, yep. That's for the lead of the race. Powers on the harder tyre, can't get the grip, and Simon goes round the outside to take the lead of the Australian V-Prix.
What a cracking move there then, from the Frenchman and the reigning world champion to move into the lead of the Australian V-Prix at the end of lap 11.
You've got to think that's exactly.
As that Sykes down the inside of Elroy Wagner. Is he going to make the move at turn 1? No, he backs out of it.
The inside line doesn't really look.
That's going to give faster run down the inside of turn 2.
Whoa, cutting it fine there. I think that was probably a matter of millimetres, not inches, within it there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
As I'm saying, then the Stuart Harrison.
No, we haven't. My mistake. Stuart Harrison with the fastest lap.
Yeah. Yeah. So the medium's probably the tyre most chosen for this race. We have the Franklin pair, both on mediums. The Downton of Klaas van Snelheid. Obviously, Sykes and Wagner, as we've seen, are on mediums. The second Westwood of Finn Schneider is on mediums. Both the AMRs are on mediums. The Holmquist of Aaron Einarsson, the Fun of Carson Davenport, the Ingram of Nikolai Milkovic, and the Thirst of Douglas Bacon. And then on the hard tyres is everyone else.
Because everybody's going to remember all of that.
It's on the hard tyres, Powers, Kinnaman, Nowasinki, and Jean Matson.
Looks like the hard tyres are actually rubbering it. Here comes a move on the inside from Alar Kanga on Joachim van Snelheid, is it? No. That's Ruiz.
No, that's Enrique Ruiz.
My goodness. So he's progressing up the field, or at least he's trying to. And Sykes is attacking Wagner now.
Look at the gap that Simon has already pulled on Nathaniel Powers. Obviously, he is on a tyre compound that are 2 steps softer, so you would expect him to be pulling away, but Powers now with a bit of a train behind him, and lining up first in that queue is Elroy Wagner.
Yeah, Simon would have been told down the radio, put your foot down, get a shift on. There's many different ways as you can say, hurry up.
Yes, absolutely, as I do believe this is all part of the train behind Powers, and it's about 9th place.
Yeah, it is indeed, and it's about to be joined by 10th and 11th, so that could be one of the longest trains since Fuji 2015.
It certainly could, as Simon sets another fastest lap, and I don't think we can take anything from those timings at the bottom, because I don't think he's 33 seconds ahead.
I don't believe you. Oh, here comes Kanga again. Oh, there's contact on that occasion. That was a bit scrappy. He lets Ruiz back through. The right thing to do there.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he is on the softer tyres though, so you would expect him to have slightly more pace than Ruiz.
Absolutely.
But again, it's finding a position or a space on the track to actually be able to pull off that overtake.
They are looking a bit worse for wear. I would expect them in the pits anytime soon.
Yeah, well, the super soft runners were in, what, 5 laps ago?
Indeed.
So, yeah, I'd imagine it probably will be any lap. What would it be if they pitted now? How many stops would they be looking at?
5 stop. No, it wouldn't. It'd be 4 stop. Just. No, wouldn't it be a 5 stop? 14, 28, 42, 56. Oh wait, it'd be a 4 stop. Someone else do the maths.
14, 28, 42, 56, 70. Yeah, 4 stop.
Yeah. Cool.
Just. As we see Sykes then pressuring Elroy Wagner for 3rd place.
Yeah.
He's had a cracking start to this race, hasn't he?
He has, yeah. He's looked confident, calm and collected.
The 3 C's.
Thought there was a 4th. Usually it's used to describe me.
Yeah, we'll not go into that.
Haha! good to have the racing back after the cold harshness of the Formula Virtualless winter break.
Yes, it absolutely is. It's something that I personally have missed deeply.
I have to sit at home in cold, snowy, like disgusting Southampton, and now we get to sit in sunny, hot Australia, sipping Blue Lagoons, which I don't actually know what they are.
Oh, that's into the pits. That's race leader Adrian Simon then. So his soft tyres have managed to go 15 laps, so that will probably be a 4-stopper.
That's interesting. He's already dropped out of the top 10.
As Van Snelheid sets the fastest lap, and that's a very abrupt pit lane entrance.
It is, isn't it? That
well,
doesn't look
exit.
particularly safe.
Where's he fed back out? 16th.
That's okay. That might hurt his race a little bit.
Oh, it's Simon and Kanga side by side once again as they're coming up on the back of Arden Hutchinson, who's up into 6th in the first. Cracking. But it's Kanga who's got through.
Yeah, now he's looking at Hutchinson. Hutchinson cuts the door off there, or shuts it, however they say it.
Cuts the door off.
Cuts the door off. I don't know. I had my own Murray Walker moment there. Yeah, some good overtaking we've seen so far, but it looks like Adrian Simon's going to have to produce a lot more of it to actually get himself back into a decent position.
Absolutely, but let's not forget everyone else has yet to pit. In fact, he was the only soft-tyred runner that came in.
Interesting.
So I wonder if by now into the pits we've got that's Arden Hutchinson and James Harding. But I wonder if just by pushing his tyres slightly harder to get that gap to Powers, as Sykes has just lost out third place to Klaas van Snelheid, is a little bit all over the place. And I have to say I looked away briefly. I'm not entirely sure how that came about.
No, I must confess, neither am I. But if any of the soft runners can make it to lap 18, I know that they can make a 3-stop work. So that's fun.
Now that is interesting. As we see, this is Simon then out of the pits and now all over the back of Aaron Einerson in the Holmqvist. This became a rather familiar sight last season, on board with a DS behind a Holmqvist, but this now is actually for position.
Indeed.
Albeit Simon having already pitted.
Einerson will have to be explained to over the radio that he doesn't have to move over this time and he can fight for that spot.
He never moved over anyway.
It's true, because usually he was rolling down the pit lane with a broken car.
And in fact, Adrian Simon has already got through then past the Icelandic driver.
Gosh, how surprising that was.
Hey, give him his due, he's 12th place.
I guess, but
he's ahead of Felix Bayer.
9 other people have stopped though. 8. Let's talk about AMR real quick.
Kanga. Kanga is into the pits.
He made his tyres lap at the end of lap 17, so unfortunately he'll just about be looking at...
Yeah, and where's he going to feed back? He's going to feed back out in 17th as well, so he's ahead of the super soft runners and quite a way ahead of James Harding, who he was battling earlier, so that's been a good stint from Kanga.
Seems like the overcut is quite effective.
Oh, as Simon gets right up to the back of Alexei Novosinki.
See that front inside tyre there locking up under braking as the pressure kind of stopped being on it. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to cause him too much bother. But you wanted to talk about AMR?
Yeah, I've got to say, a lot of people, including AMR themselves, I think would have expected them to be a little bit higher up than they are right now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think pre-season. I don't think much was really expected of them. As we see on the screen to the left, Simon is now past Novosinki, and there we see it on camera. I don't think pre-season an awful lot was expected of AMR, but they turned up at testing, and they were really quite quick.
They were.
And I think that turned an awful lot of heads, and now we've come here to Phillip Island, and I mean obviously Felix Bayer was 7th in practice, and qualified 11th. Will Hoskins has struggled all weekend, but he is adapting to a new car. But yeah, at the moment the race isn't really going their way, and actually we got on board with Will Hoskins. The director is really playing to our favour today.
He is. is, yeah. What will Hoskins do? I mean, what? He's had to adjust to, in the last 4 years, the Franklin, the Westwood, the Fun, and now the AMR. He's not really had a chance to settle in and really make a name for himself at a team.
No, he hasn't. But I mean, you know, he's already what you'd call within Formula Virtual a household name.
Yeah, I mean, obviously having been heavily involved in the title fight in the second season of Formula Virtual, that doesn't, you know, that sticks in people's minds.
Oh, sorry to cut across you. Judson Sykes looks to the inside of Klaas van Snelheid at turn 1. I think we've seen already this in this race so far. That's not really going to be an overtaking spot, but it could have put him offline and potentially under pressure from Finn Schneider.
Yeah, it's going to be more of a case of using that corner to set yourself up rather than the move itself.
Absolutely.
But it is still really good that he's fighting for a podium. I think that's amazing. And that's the Ocelot of, I want to say,
Beckenbauer.
I was wrong.
It's good to see nothing's changed.
Yay. Fun running a livery remarkably similar to last year's.
Fun are currently running last year's livery.
Well, I did say it was remarkably similar. The only difference is the driver names on one of the cars.
Yes, obviously, Olin Inman, the last year's star rookie who went to the last race with a shout at the championship, as that's James Harding down the inside of Arden Hutchinson, and the pair of them are now right on the back of Alar Kanga, who looks as though he's being held up slightly by Nikolai Milkovic in the Ingram.
Yeah, so that's some good pace there from the Lopez in the first.
Yeah, but obviously Inman, he just missed out on that championship last year and was subsequently dropped by DS Master in what was a bit of a surprise move, really.
Brutal, to be honest.
But he did, you know, he did end up. He's got his seat at Fun, and DS have put Alar Kanga in the car, who was last year's Virtual World Racing Series champion. He's shown a bit of speed, and he was on Adrian Simon's pace in testing. He's struggled a little bit here so far this weekend, but no, it's not been a bad debut.
No, I mean, he's
could have been worse.
Besides some contact with the Franklin earlier, he's kept himself out of trouble. He's, you know, managed himself well on the race so far. I know we're already almost a third of the way in. But he'll be more focused on getting that race finish under his belt, getting some experience, and getting to grips with this formula.
And hopefully getting some points.
Also true.
Absolutely, as we see, that's Adrian Simon then all over the back of, that's going to be Timo Kinnaman, I'm guessing.
Tis indeedy. The Finn shall not yield. As, Finn Schneider comes under attack from Jochen van Snelheid.
I'd imagine so.
You can always tell when my voice sounds like a guess rather than an assertive statement. Yeah, obviously sandwiched between the two Franklins. I mean, we're talking about debuts. What do you make of his so far?
Schneider?
Yeah.
Well, he's ahead of Kinnaman.
Different tyre compounds.
He's still ahead of Kinnaman.
Also true. Oh, and Simon has made his way past Kinnaman. Not
so
really
he has,
surprising.
that's up to 8th place then for the reigning world champion.
Yeah, but you've got to start wondering, is it going to be enough? Because he's already lost a lot of ground. Someone's pitting, is it?
I don't think he has, actually. That's the top 5 all together. 6th and 7th there, and Adrian Simon is just coming down the straight and through turn 1 now. So he's actually really not that far behind anymore. I think Powers up front on these hard tyres is really starting to back the field up.
He is, yeah. Nobody can pass anyone because the track is obviously quite narrow, quite high speed. Really only got like what, 2, maybe 3 overtaking opportunities.
Yeah, although as they've shown, they are creating a few more as they get to grips with this circuit, mainly around the outside of corners. As that looks like Jochen van Snelheid is past Finn Schneider.
Absolutely does. I believe you'd be correct. Our timing screens do keep fluctuating, so apologies to the viewers. I wouldn't use it as a reliable source.
Yeah, I'd ignore those times.
We'll call it the Harry phenomenon because it's an unreliable source of information. Or we could call it fake news.
No, I like the Harry phenomenon.
I'm just full of laughter and, you know, dead on the inside. So, we're watching Enrique Ruiz following Judson Sykes now as we go on to lap 24. Nathaniel Power still leading. Judson Sykes is on the attack line the outside and he's taking the place. Ruiz comes back, but he doesn't have a chance on the inside line. Sykes
that was Sykes trying to. That was Ruiz trying to attack Sykes.
I could have sworn Sykes was behind. No,
that was Sykes defending.
Sykes. Well, Sykes defended solidly. Good on you, Sykes. I feel like I've said Sykes too many times.
Psych.
Ha! Got him.
North Star then currently with both cars in the top 10.
Yeah, actually, that's a very good observation, Bradley.
As we jump,
like that.
we are on board with Felix Baer then, who's still hunting down Aaron Einarson, who's currently in 11th for Holmqvist. So.
Still
well,
a decent
he hasn't pitted yet.
Well, neither of anyone in the top 10 except for Adrian Simon.
No, that's very true.
So, haha. Simon, as we speak of him, he is, as we speak of him, I believe he's right on the back of Schneider.
There looks like there's a car right behind Finn Schneider, doesn't it? As Ruiz once again then looks to the inside of Sykes at turn 1, but as we've already seen this race, the inside of turn 1, not really a place you're going to pull an overtake, and that has actually put him offline, and his teammate Jochen van Snelheid is now all over that rear wing.
He's ready to pounce on his older, more experienced teammate, but he's been paired with, he's had a bit of a tough go of it.
Oh, and in fact, Jochen is down the inside of Enrique Ruiz, and the two Franklins then are wheel to wheel. Ruiz has just held him off, and no, he hasn't. Jochen van Snelheid sweeps around the outside.
You dirty boy, that was lovely. What a great overtake.
Behind them, Simon has passed Schneider, but what a move from the young Dutchman.
It's a fantastic overtake. I mean, you just look at the way Jochen saw the gap. He was lining himself up through the first couple of corners, and he knew that Ruiz wasn't going to give up that space easy, so he forced him into a mistake at the hairpin. It was just fantastic driving.
Yeah, absolutely cracking move. And now Adrian Simon, who's obviously already made his pit stop, is right on the back of Enrique Ruiz. So Simon looking in a strong position as we're starting to approach the midway point of this race. Sort of.
No, we're not.
We're 8 laps away.
We're starting to approaching the midway point of the race.
Yes, exactly. We're starting the beginning of the approach.
Makes me sad to see both the Ocelots at the back of the grid again for the 3rd year in a row.
It does, especially when there is a rather nice livery on the car this year.
It looks really
They've got the famous Gulf racing colours.
The what?
Gulf. Gulf. G-U-L-F.
Who are they? Are they a good team?
Google. Just once this race is finished, Google. There will be an awful lot of people that are listening that are very disappointed that you don't know what the Gulf racing colours are.
It's time to mention our sponsor, Pepsi Max.
Oh, that was someone in the pits. Was that Lars van Snelheid? Yes, from 3rd position.
Darn it, I was close.
The Dutchman then, in his maiden V-Prix, be interesting to see. So he's on the medium tyres, so that's the first medium runner into the pits then. Interesting to see where he's going to feed back out. Yeah. What lap did Adrian Simon pit?
15.
15, so he's only a few laps away from his second stop. So, Klaas van Snelheid has gone nearly twice as long on the mediums as Simon has managed. Oh,
Yes.
and that's a spin from one of the Franklins.
Oh, that's
Henri. That's Ruiz.
Oh, he's been. I'll tell you what. I reckon he's been a bit rattled in there by his younger teammate, and he's made a bit of a mistake there, hasn't he?
I'm just wondering if there was contact.
It might have been, actually. You could be correct.
As that was Klaas van Snelheid then, he sped back out in 11th place, just ahead of James Harding.
Yeah, there we go.
There
No, it
was
just a
slight
mistake.
contact, but that didn't cause the spin.
No, it was all his own doing. He rode up on the curbing, locked up his brakes, and the car was just gone.
Yeah, strange
Just
error there
yeah.
from Ruiz. As Klaas van Snelheid dives down the inside of his countryman Felix Bayer.
Absolutely no mercy in that move.
No, and Bayer's also lost the position to James Harding, as into the pits now then come Elroy Wagner and Judson Sykes from what was 2nd and 3rd respectively. That's put Adrian Simon back up into 3rd place, and obviously Nathaniel Powers and Timo Kinnaman have continued. They're on the hard tyres. Also continuing, Jochen van Snelheid on the mediums and Nowasinki as well on the mediums. Ruiz has pitted, come out in 11th place.
Yep.
So the order is shuffling a little here, and Klaas van Snelheid has jumped Judson Sykes in the stops.
So he has, yeah. So that's some good work from the Downton strategy boys on the pit wall.
Boys,
Men, whatever.
no, boys is good. Just don't forget the girls that are down there as well.
Please never let me take that quote out of context, ever.
As Adrian Simon is past Jochen van Snelheid into 2nd.
Well, he needs to get a move on and create some kind of gap.
Yeah, Adrian Simon is really putting the hammer down then, as Enrique Ruiz has come out behind Alar Kanga, who's been stuck in a bit of traffic since his pit stop.
In comes Jochen van Snelheid.
Although Ruiz is ahead of Schneider. So that looked like maybe a slow pit stop there for the Westwood.
Could be. He's lost quite a lot of ground to Klaas when they weren't that far apart in the pit lane.
Absolutely, as Jochen has come out ahead of his teammate.
Very interesting. Game on at Franklin.
Leaving Alexei Nowasinki is the only medium runner not to stop? Or...
Yes.
No, Nowasinki is on the hard tyres. Ignore me.
I always ignore you.
As that's Wagner past Nowasinki, and that, Klaas van Snelheid, Downton helped him get the move done on Judson Sykes in the stops, but Judson Sykes has just undone that hard work and gone straight back past the Dutchman.
And Judson is having an absolute... he's having a race of his life today.
He certainly is, and he's now right behind his teammate, who you can only imagine will let him through.
Here comes Kanga on the inside. And he makes the move stick, does he? Yes, he's past James Harding.
Yeah, and a quality move there then from Alar Kanga, as next up behind the Lopez are the two Franklins of Jochen van Snelheid and Enrique Ruiz, as the two North Stars are now nose to tail. As Klaas looks to the inside of Sykes to turn 1, we know that's not going to come off, as that's one of the Franklins past Harding, or is it? Harding is coming back at him in turn 2, and he's got the inside line, although I think the outside there for Ruiz, that is, who's already passed his teammate then, is going to help him into 9th place, and it is. Van Snelheid is passed as well.
We've got Felix Bayer and Will Hoskins in the pits on the medium tyres, so he was the last medium runner. Wait a minute. No, it wasn't.
I have no idea.
I will do my research and get back to you. Keep doing and commentate, because one of us has to.
Hoskins was on the mediums.
Okay, what about Matson?
Hards.
Okay, so all the medium runners have completed their first stop.
Yeah, as into the pits then for his second stop comes Adrian Simon. So he hadn't quite managed to get past Nathaniel Powers and back into the lead.
Indeed. It's good.
As Klaas van Snelheid has gone back past Sykes, and Kanga has passed the Russian as well, as are both the Franklins. Judson Sykes has just lost about 5 positions in well, a handful of corners.
He must have made a mistake somewhere. Hopefully we'll get a replay of that, as we see the 2 Franklins going wheel to wheel, and now Kanga's getting involved. That's actually Simon. No, it's not. It is Kanga. I need to stop second-guessing myself, and everyone's all over the place, and I'm excited.
Although, Adrian Simon has made his second stop and come out ahead of this battle. He's ahead of Nowasinki in 4th place. So, Simon, that was a fantastic second stint from the world champion.
Chaps, pause real quick. This is the only time you will ever see a Westwood and a Downton in a 1-2. The other way around.
With a Lopez in 3rd.
What? If you'd have told me at the season opener last year this is what we'd be witnessing, I'd have told you, well, I can't really say what I would have told you.
No, probably best not to repeat it on air. That's Van Snelheid then. Klaas down the inside of Nowasinki. Surely he's going to hold it around the outside, and he is, and that's Ruiz going to go through as well. And Kanga, Nowasinki on the hard tyres is finally having to succumb.
He's being swamped. Obviously, those hard tyres have done 31. He's slowing down a little bit as well.
He is, and that's gonna bulk his own teammate slightly, and that's giving Joachim a run around the outside of the Russian.
But Sykes is stuck on the inside line. Oh, it's tight. We don't know what's happened.
Oh, yeah, we do. Joachim is through.
What a move, though. You got to admit, the opportunism there is crazy.
Absolutely.
So,
as the 2 firsts very nearly wipe one another out on the exit of the pit lane.
Wow, that was that could have ended in tragedy, to be honest. I mean,
yeah, that would have been some kind of spectacular accident, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Wow, that was really close. Hopefully they get that fixed if we ever come back here.
That's Judson Sykes then, looking to the inside of Alexei Nowasinki, and you'd imagine he's probably going to get the move done now around the outside as his fresher medium tyres seem to have more purchase, and he has indeed moved ahead into 9th place. Unfortunately, he's already lost though quite a bit of time and a load of positions.
Exactly, and we're riding on board now with Simon coming up to Wagner. Wagner slams the door in his face, says no, get stuffed, mate. We're in Australia. I'm doing a terrible Australian accent. He's got a run on him again. He's round the outside. You take over.
I really don't know why Wagner would be Australian.
Why wouldn't he?
Because he's German. His teammate's Australian. He may well have picked something up. But I highly doubt that.
Shrimp on the barbie.
As
no, that's something else.
Kanga has actually lost oh, he's pitted, never mind.
Smooth.
And in fact, there he is.
Being held up by the AMR of Felix Bayer.
That is a beautiful blue helmet he's got. No, seriously? Just don't. As Finn Schneider now finds his way past Alexei Nowasinki into 9th place then. As Adrian Simon at turn 1 then, once again all over the back of Elroy Wagner, as he has been for the last lap or so. But unable as yet to find a way through. As Joachim van Snelheid once again breathing down the neck of his teammate Enrique Ruiz, as the pair of them, the Franklin duo, coming up to the back now of Klaas van Snelheid, who is currently running in 5th place, trying to catch Adrian Simon, but obviously Simon is currently the fastest man on the racetrack on his soft tyres, while those around him are on the mediums and the hards.
Sorry, I wasn't paying any attention for the last 2 minutes.
No, I didn't think you were.
Moving on. We've got a move now down the inside.
Yeah, that's Simon. Down the inside of Wagner then. Is it? Yes. And he didn't manage to get the grip around the outside. That's surprising. Most of the moves there have been pulled off today, and I'd have expected Simon on the softs to be able to manage that.
maybe that's just how fast the softs are going on. So anyone on the hard tyres is now committed to a 1 stop if they complete this lap. If they complete lap 34.
Oh, Simon looking to the inside of Wagner at turn 2, but that was never a move he was going to actually want to attempt. And in fact, that is the pair of them now caught up to Timo Kinnaman, who's running second.
Were there skid marks there on the side of the track? Oh, down the inside goes Simon once again on Wagner. Surely he's got the move done this time. They're side by side, and as we go to the uphill, yes, he's finally managed to gain that traction around the outside and just drive around Elroy Wagner there. Now it's going to be piling the pressure on Timo Kinnaman.
Good move there from Adrian Simon, and it's one he absolutely needed to pull off when you consider he's already made one more stop and he's probably going to have to make another additional stop to the German.
Yes.
Yeah, in fact, Simon's going to have to stop twice more?
At the very least.
Meanwhile, Kinnaman in front of him will only have to stop once, so Simon is going to have to pass him on track, probably twice.
That's not good. Yeah, no. Simon doesn't really look to have a sense of urgency about it either.
You say that. You only got past Wagner a lap or two ago, and
no,
not quite. Timo Kinnaman holds the world champion back. I have to say, I'd be interested to know the gap between Powers and Kinnaman, but unfortunately, because the timing screens are playing havoc, as Simon is now past Kinnaman, we haven't seen it, but it's
what are you talking about? It's 40 seconds.
Yeah, but it's clearly not, is it?
No, definitely not.
Or at least if it is, then Powers has just suddenly made some sort of massive error because Simon's just cut the gap to 13.
That I would call a pit stop.
And now it's 35 again.
As we see Wagner now trying to find a way around the Finn.
I like that. You've got 2 Finns in your team.
Finn and the Finn. Finn the Finn and Finn the human. The fun will never end. It's adventure time.
As this is Nathaniel Powers then, the race leader. So he's just heading around turn 2. I wonder if we're going to get a shot. Ah, there you go. That's Simon. So he's just coming around turn 1. So he's not that far behind then.
No, it could still be rather close. Ooh.
Yeah, although let's not forget, Simon with 2 stops still to make. Nathaniel Powers only the 1 now, although he is on much, much slower tyres, and Simon no longer has any traffic between him and the race leader.
Yeah, so you'd expect Simon to close that gap down pretty...
Oh, is that Klaas van Snelheid coming under attack from the Franklin pair then? Who are once again side by side, and is that... I think that was Ruiz around the outside of Jochen van Snelheid. It was, so it's Ruiz getting revenge for earlier.
I thought Sykes was going to be an absolute cheeky see you next Tuesday and make his way around the outside.
Yeah, he couldn't quite, he didn't quite have the time there, did he?
No, and in comes one of the Meteors for his Virginian stop.
Oh, as that's Wagner past Kinnaman into 3rd.
Yeah, making his way around the outside, slam the door shut, leaving him no way to come back at him.
And that was an important move for Wagner to make because Klaas van Snelheid and the Franklin pair are quickly approaching the back of that Westwood.
You got to think that the hard runners, you're going to need to start looking at pitting soon. They're going to be running out of grip on those tyres.
Yeah, it would certainly make sense for them to pit now. I mean, as you say, they would be an absolute guaranteed 1-stopper now unless anything went wrong. So it's strange that they're staying out, but maybe they still feel they've got the pace and the grip at the moment.
Well, all I always say is we're not the ones with the computers and the graphs and the brains.
No, we're absolutely not, as everything is piling up a little bit behind Kinnaman now, who is, I'd say, clearly starting to struggle on those hard tyres, but we shall wait and see. Oh, as into the pits come, that's the Ocelot duo. So Beckenbauer and Giordano in for their 4th pit stops.
Gotta wonder why they thought Supersoft were a good idea. Not to be rude, but...
Yeah, as the track temperature has now risen to 33 degrees. Well,
go on.
Give up.
Tell us
My
more about
bloody
the
diggies.
diggies.
It's a diggy.
I'm so sorry that I got it wrong.
Well, I think, to be honest, as all class ranks now, I'd look into the inside of Kinnaman at turn
Ruiz
1.
gonna
He's
take
backed
the
out of
place.
it, and that's going to allow Ruiz and
And
Joachim,
Joachim.
his brother, around the outside.
Well, that's gonna spark a fire deep in his heart that only a brother will understand. No,
Yeah,
seriously.
Klaas will not have enjoyed that one, but it was his error. He looked to the inside of Kinnaman at turn 1. It's been clear all race that is not going to pull off. Klaas already though looking to take the fight back to his brother as the two of them are going to go side by side. Klaas is going to sweep around the outside of Joachim and move back into 6th place.
Joachim might have a year's experience, but Klaas, I would say, definitely has the superior car and just more talent. He's got buckets of it.
Wow, that's a brave compliment. I wouldn't make that at a dinner table with the pair of them.
It's fine. Joachim knows he's a Westwood reject. I mean, that's a pretty exclusive club. You're joining the likes of
Is
Douglas
it?
Bacon. You're joining the likes of Keith Boston. I could go on.
Yeah,
You've got
let's
quite
be
a few.
fair, there are quite a few. Yeah, where was I? As we see a battle once again into turn 1.
Oh, Klaas.
And that is Ruiz stuck behind Timo Kinnaman. Is that going to give
He's
Klaas
making
a
a move up
run
the inside.
back at the Brazilian? And it is. Klaas is back through into 5th.
I'd like to see another replay of that because I think he might have used that Westwood to slow himself down a little bit.
I don't know. Kinnaman's got quite a gap.
That was why. But it was a very good move. He set himself up through turn 1 because he knew that the aerodynamics on that Franklin would be amazing as ever.
Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting though that Kinnaman is still holding these guys off at the moment as they're battling amongst themselves.
Yeah, they're too busy squabbling for the lower positions, but then you don't really think that you get Jamie marching down to the Downton garage. Right, I've got a plan. Or like Baldrick. Sir, I have a cunning plan.
I could be. Anyway, before all this kicked off, I was talking about Ocelot,
Yes.
who Olin Inman is out of this race.
How?
I've no idea.
Find out.
I'm also not entirely sure when that happened. As I think Klaas might be about to come under attack from Enrique Ruiz again. And he is. No, he holds it around the outside. It's better defending there from the Dutchman.
This
Yeah,
would be a
Ocelot,
best
I think.
chance to pass Kinnaman. He's got a run on him. He's down the inside. Kinnaman closes the door.
No, and that's going to give Ruiz the run and the inside line into the hairpin. And he's going to go up the inside of Timo Kinnaman once as well. We've practically got 2 by 2.
It's Noah's Ark.
And yet we've ended up with exactly the same order after all of that.
All of this is really helping the top 3.
Yeah, and in fact, those are the top 2, and that is Adrian Simon taking the race lead from Nathaniel Powers. Is Powers going to be able to hold her back on the inside? He's not, as he gets unlapped by an Ocelot.
Oh god.
I think that's possibly the only time you'll see an Ocelot overtake a Downton this season.
And Klaas has surely got the move done this time, and he's passed Kinnaman, whose tyres look absolutely shot to pieces. And he still does not enter the pits, as does Nathaniel Powers, who is clearly struggling for any kind of grip out of that
No,
corner.
Powers is in.
Oh no.
That's Powers in the pits then. So end of lap 41. Where's he going to come back out? It's
Australia.
in 10th. Funny. 10th place then. So just behind Alar Kanga.
That's not too bad.
Oh, here we go. This is Olin Linman. And that sounds like an engine failure.
It does, doesn't it?
As it chews itself to bits and spits pieces out the back, and he parks at the side of the road with a rather smoky rear end.
Couldn't have put it better myself. That was poetic, frankly.
But yeah, I'm just going to go back to my point about Ocelot, which I've been trying to mention now for 5 laps.
Oh, yeah.
The team obviously, they got to pre-season testing, and they mentioned beforehand that they expected to be slow this year, and pre-season testing proved that, as Alar Kanga dives down and attempts to split the Westwood, and he's going to now as he goes past Finn Schneider. As Kinnaman finally pits then from eventually 7th place, having been overtaken a few times. But yeah, Ocelot clearly had no pace, so I'm wondering if the super softs here were just genuinely, a chance to show any pace whatsoever, in some kind of vain hope.
More than likely, I mean, what, they would have switched on straight away and granted amazing lap time for about half a lap, and then just melted in the intense heat.
Yeah, absolutely, and as you can see, they've already, everyone on the super softs has already made 4 stops, and the highest super soft runner is currently 21st, and that is Stuart Harrison.
The important part is they tried.
Did
Matson
they?
Still hasn't pitted. So it looks
No,
like
well, Matson is on the hard tyres, and let's be fair, that Ingram is not the quickest car this year, so it's probably not got a lot of downforce.
But it looks like today the hard tyre strategy, at least if you're not in like the top 5 or 6, could have actually been equally as bad as a super soft strategy.
Yeah, well, it's certainly not working for Matson at the moment, is he?
Not really.
He's currently second to last, and he hasn't made his stop yet.
At least he's not last.
Yet. I'm sure he's about to pit, and that'll happen very
Bradley,
shortly.
Teach me.
Huh?
I said you have such a positive outlook on life, Bradley. Teach me.
As Timo Kinnaman has rejoined in 15th then, as Nathaniel Powers has passed Lexi Nowasinki, who is also not yet pitted.
Now Powers is attacking Finn Schneider, the other Finn.
Yeah, Westwood's other Finn.
We're going to name them Finn 69 and Finn 70. Or Finn 1 and Finn 2.
Yeah, now you're just dreaming.
Aren't we all?
Well, yes.
Of a white Christmas.
Well, yes.
Including, of course, all ethnicities.
Yes, but by White Christmas you mean snow.
Schneider slammed the door there.
Yes, he did rather, didn't he? But Powers there, I think he's going to struggle to find a way past. Let's not forget, he's on slower tyres there. So we'll have to keep an eye on that to see how that unfolds. As this is Klaas van Snelheid with, once again, as I think he pretty much has had all race, the 2 Franklins breathing down his neck.
Indeed. He's certainly dealing with pressure really well.
Although they swept through turns 1 and 2 not long ago, and this is Powers behind Schneider. So Nathaniel Powers then not that far behind 3rd place, his teammate.
He just needs to pull that move on Finn 2 and make some progress up the field. And in comes Sykes.
Nowasinki.
Sykes.
Nowasinki. I'm telling you, it's Nowasinki.
In comes Nowasinki. That was weird. So we're still watching this battle, and Powers looks like he's lost a small amount of ground. Maybe made a mistake, but he's quickly made that back up. That Downton does look fiercely quick.
Well, thank you. As into the pits comes race leader Adrian Simon, and that then hands the lead to Elroy Wagner of Lopez.
No.
Is that the first time Lopez have led a race?
Yep.
I know Harding was on pole for the Chinese V-Prix last year in the rain, but was he not overtaken on the opening lap?
He was, I believe.
If he was, that's the first time that Lopez have led a lap.
Is it though?
If he wasn't, then it's not.
Still, it's pretty impressive because Lopez are leading a lap.
Absolutely, good on them.
Actually, they've got quite a gap back to these guys. Lopez might have played themselves into a good position.
Yeah, well, Wagner running on as a... What was that? Oh, was that Ruiz defending from Joachim? I think it was. As now Judson Sykes trying to get involved, and that is Alar Kanga right with them. So he's had a good couple of laps to close right back up. He does, yes. Just behind them. Oh, Simon won't like that at all. He's come out right behind this battle.
Right behind this train, you mean?
Although, after his third pit stop, he has come out ahead of Nathaniel Powers. So, although, I mean, he does have one more stop to make, he's on tyres that are, as we mentioned earlier, 2 steps harder. Powers still stuck behind Finn Schneider. All Simon has to do is pull that gap out now. As oh, that was a lap on one of the meetings, and that's allowed Ruiz past Class.
That, I mean, that can be nice for Class, and he's going to be left with a bitter taste in his mouth from that move. But what a fantastic overtake from Ruiz to see that opportunity and literally squirm his car right between the two. I thought that was incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a phenomenal bit of driving from the Brazilian then, who now puts himself up into second place as Adrian Simon is right on the back of Judson Sykes, who's just been passed by Kanga. And in fact, Simon is going to go around the outside of Sykes using the back marker. I think that is Stuart Harris. No, actually, I think that's Halverson.
John Cena.
It's definitely not him.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
Okay. So, oh, my headphone wire is stuck on my chair. So,
that's disappointing for Halverson, isn't
into
it?
the pits comes Ala Kanga. It is a little bit.
You know, this time last year, Halverson was winning the race.
God, he was, wasn't he?
And now he's
like
last.
Forever ago.
He's actually last.
Did I miss something happen with Halverson?
If you did, I did as well.
Fair enough. I mean, I don't think the cameramen have any reason
Actually,
to cover him.
he was quite a bit higher than that, and he hasn't made a pit stop.
He's
I'm
out.
just wondering if that was or whether that was indeed Harrison. Yeah, no, Halverson's out. So that was Harrison that was being lapped and getting in the way.
So I wonder what's happened to
Oh!
That's what I was talking about.
Jeez, that was the onboard then, as Enrique Ruiz took second place from Klaas van Snelheid, and that really was threading the eye of the needle.
That would have been one of those moments where you're tempted to close your eyes as a driver and just try and squeeze through.
And there we go then, that is on board with Halverson, as that looks like another engine failure.
You might be right, Bradley.
Although there's no smoke, actually. So maybe not. We'll have to wait and hear from the team then what that one
how
was.
the saying goes, just because there's no smoke doesn't mean there's no fire. That's not how it goes, is it? Van Snelheid is doing nothing, but behind him, Jochen Van Snelheid is going hammer and tong with Adrian Simon.
Suspension failure for Halverson.
Wonderful. The best kind of failure.
As that is Nathaniel Powers then still stuck behind Finn Schneider. He's really not making any headway, although they're not losing a huge amount of time to the pack in front.
Not particularly. Not really losing, not really gaining. It's like really. I don't know.
Yeah, that sums it up perfectly. As Adrian Simon dives down the inside of Jochen van Snelheid, surely he's going to have the purchase around the outside on the soft tyres, and he does. And into fourth then goes the reigning world champion. As Elroy Wagner crosses the line to complete lap 49 of this race, just 20 to go now then.
There's
Enrique Ruiz rapidly closing him down.
He's going to be looming large in his mirrors. Obviously, there's no love lost between this pair over their 2-year partnership. Was it 2 years?
It was indeed 2 years.
Oh yeah!
As Kanga sets the fastest lap.
I didn't see it. It's a good one.
Well, it was the quickest one we've seen so far.
I'm just going to take yes as an answer. Nathaniel Powers is still stuck behind Finn Schneider. Oh my god.
It's
Kinnaman's behind Aaron Iverson.
I'm just interested. Both Ruiz and Klaas are on the medium tyres.
Yep.
Yeah, since overtail, I think Adrian Simon has just swept around the outside of the Dutchman. He made that look easy as anything.
What a move.
obviously both Ruiz and Klaas on the medium tyres. Ever since Ruiz has got by, he has just disappeared into the distance. I'm wondering if Klaas is just struggling to make the tyres last in this his opening race, or just to keep the pace up.
Don't forget, it also takes a lot of physical stamina as well as mental stamina to keep that car to like 100% for the entire race. So maybe as a rookie, he's still getting used to the intensity of the duration of these races that can feel like marathons. Absolutely
possible then, as Ruiz still closing the gap to Elroy Wagner. He's now nearly right with the Lopez, but Nathaniel Powers still, after what must be now sort of 5-6 laps, still stuck right behind Finn Schneider and unable to find a way past the Swiss driver.
You get the feeling that he's just not going to find a way past until Finn makes his stop.
No,
Here
and
comes
this
the
is
other Finn. Ooh, that's a close one. Obviously, these two teams in their technical partnership. I don't know why I chopped that in there. That was the randomest thing to say while there's an overtake happening.
Well, not really. It makes perfect sense. Maybe the Holmqvist there of Einarsson just slightly allowed Kinnaman through.
Yeah, great. Let me implicate myself in race fixing. Fab.
As this is Ruiz on the inside of Wagner at turn 1, and he's got the move done before the corner, but Wagner sweeps back around the outside.
I mean,
so
wow.
Even pulling ahead before the corner cannot enable a move to be done on the inside of turn 1.
Look at just the difference in straight line speed between the two, though.
That was
just looks like it's a sitting duck on the straights.
That was mammoth straight line speed from the Franklin, which I don't think is something we've ever really seen before.
We haven't seen any kind of speed from a Lopez. Oh wait, no.
No, I mean the Franklin.
I was trying to make a joke, then I remembered it wouldn't work.
I think, the Franklin has always been, in the last few years, heavy on aerodynamics and slow in a straight line. I wonder if they've gone the other way this year.
Probably not, due to the low nose.
That's a good point.
Sorry to shut you down like that. I didn't mean to,
No. It's a very good point, but it's just that there has to be something in that Honda engine. As into the pits for his second stop then comes Klaas van Snelheid, and that is going to be the second and final stop of the race.
Of his race.
That's what I meant.
Oh, Finn Schneider has made his pit stop and released Nathaniel Powers into the wild.
Oh god, that's dangerous.
It feels like the damage is done now. Obviously, he's
as that is a slow Lopez, and that is James Harding pulling off the side of the track.
So that's the speed we're more used to seeing. To be fair, I will behave because Wagner is currently leading the race.
I was going to say they're beating you. They're beating me as well. Well, they're beating everyone.
Hey, enough of that, lad. I don't know what that was all about.
So this is then, we are just 16 laps from the end of this race, and that is the top 3 all in one camera shot.
That's amazing.
When was the last time we saw that?
Fuji.
You keep going back to Fuji.
I know, because it was an amazing win for my team. Worth noting, Simon must pit again.
That's Ruiz. He's going to sweep around the outside into the lead then of the Australian V-Prix, but Ruiz was all over. I think that must have been the curb on the outside heading down to turn 1, and it was really quite bumpy there. But Ruiz is now through past Wagner into the lead then of the Australian V-Prix and pulling away at a rapid rate.
It did look rather terrifying to be on board with, I won't lie. But I wouldn't have liked to be on board with that. Oh, it's happening now to the Westwood of Timo Kinnaman, who's coming under pressure from Aaron Einarsson. As we cut away.
But in fact, Einarsson is just... No, he hasn't. Never mind.
I don't know why I just laughed like that. Einarsson's on the hard, isn't he?
Mediums.
So he's well overdue a stop.
Yes.
Actually, no, he's not.
As in come Ruiz and Wagner then. So that will be their final stops of the race, obviously both on the medium tyres.
Battle
And
of
that
the
will
pit
put
crews.
Adrian Simon back into the lead. And now he has to put the hammer down then.
Anyone who plays Overwatch will think that's funny like I do.
As Powers has gone through. Powers has gone through past Enrique Ruiz. So then, Ruiz and Wagner, who were leading this race, are now behind Nathaniel Powers, who will not have to pit again with 14 laps remaining. Klaas van Snelheid has also passed Elroy Wagner.
You are correct. So everybody in the top 10 except for Joachim, or Joachim, or Joachim.
Joachim.
Joachim. What a name, Joachim.
Well, he's Dutch.
Have made their stops. I nearly said have made their powers.
No. Simon and Kanga both need to pit again. So all of the top 3 need to make their final stop.
Interesting. So that's not the top 3. Well, maybe Simon, if he can get the pace going. On the plus side, Simon is going to be able to switch his tyres on a lot faster when he pits, and he won't have to worry about making them last quite as long.
Absolutely, as that is then Klaas van Snelheid just ahead as Joachim pits then from second place. It'll be interesting to see where he feeds back out. He's already behind Ruiz. Where is he going to be in relation to Klaas? He's behind Klaas, and he's behind Wagner as well.
Boy, vey. Powers has come right back into this now. You think with the guys ahead of him having to make one more stop each, what kind of position does that put him in? An amazing one!
Well,
a bit weird.
Yeah. it does put him in the net lead of this V-Prix with 14 laps to go.
Look at the pressure that hang on. Joachim is piling onto Elroy Wagner there. Right up his gearbox. Got to engage filters sometimes and it takes a second to kick in.
So that is Powers then. How far ahead of Ruiz is he? He's really not that far.
But Ruiz really doesn't have a lot of time either, so it's going to be quite a close one.
No, but he is on softer tyres. Remember, Ruiz on the mediums compared to Powers on the hard tyres.
Except for maybe the other hard tyres.
What?
I don't know, I'm just...
Oh, as Ruiz then sets the fastest lap. So, he is really going for this one.
That's another Ocelot in the pits. Oh, we saw an overtake on the inside of the turn 1 for the first time all year.
Did we? I missed that.
Yeah, Joachim managed to make the pass, probably on the straight if I'm honest.
I have to say, that Ocelot pit crew have been busy. With both their drivers on the super soft tyres, they've already done 12 pit stops.
That is correct. Now they're trying to be a bit of a nuisance, just because they're bored.
As this is, this is John Matson then, currently running in last place. He has made his only pit stop, however, although those in front of him are on the super softs and only have to make one more. So I'd wager they'll probably find their way back through.
I've got to say, I wasn't a fan of the income livery, but when you ride on board with it, it looks really nice.
I'm not a fan. I much preferred the livery last season.
Oh, I much prefer my livery this season, but I mean...
Well, yes, your livery this season is absolutely beautiful.
Immaculate, perfect, beautiful, gorgeous, amazing.
All of the above.
Yeah.
Right, that is Klaas van Snelheid then, with his brother rapidly closing him down for 5th place.
Well, that's going to be one hell of a scrap.
Behind them as well, Wagner and Sykes. So 5th to 8th, all within the same piece of racetrack.
Indeed. It's going to be an entertaining battle, that's for sure.
What's going to be interesting is seeing where Simon and Kanga fit into this.
At the moment, they fit in at the front. Into the pits comes Will Hoskins. Will Hoskins into the pits.
When are they due a pit stop? Must be, well, Simon must be due in on lap
Ruiz
60.
Powers
As that's Ruiz past Nathaniel Powers. So that then is crucial for the net lead of this race as Ruiz moves into third place.
Yeah. So.
And now becomes the lead driver to have completed all of his pit stops.
That's impressive. I mean, it was a good overtake. I mean, we saw him kind of swapping places on the left of the screen, and we were thinking, well, I was thinking something bigger.
Yeah, and look at the gap he's managed to pull already. That was an easy move for Ruiz. Powers didn't look like he really defended it.
No, but then I don't think he's really got the tyres to.
No.
To be honest, unfortunately now it's just coming down to who's on the softer or the fresher compound.
Yeah, and he's on neither. His tyres are neither fresher nor quicker.
Schneider is being harassed. That was a weird thing.
Is he?
He's being stalked by a weird man who wears an orange jumpsuit and a blue helmet with yellow arrows pointing forwards on it. We don't know who it is.
Schneider? Are you sure?
I was joking. I was saying he was being stalked.
Yes, and your description was perfect for that of Nathaniel Powers.
Good, you noticed, darling.
Yes, but Powers is 6 places ahead of him.
I know, I meant off track, you dummy.
Oh.
Thanks for making my jokes not funny.
Oh, as that is Joachim and Klaas going side by side through turn 1 then, the two brothers, but obviously as we've seen, the inside line doesn't really work and Klaas holds on to 5th position.
And that's allowed Wagner and Sykes, who were slipping away, to stay within touch of those two. There's Bayer, Hoskins. Ha ha ha. I was hoping for a challenge.
What?
So we ride on board with Adrian Simon still.
Yeah, and surely he's going to come into the pits, and he does then at the end of lap 60. So this is going to be the important one. Where will Adrian Simon feed back out?
We've been over this one,
This is Kanga then coming down. Kanga is going to take the lead. That's not bad in your maiden race, is it?
No.
But Ruiz has gone through already. Adrian Simon then is going to be second at best. And it is going to be second, or is it? Nathaniel Powers is coming down the straight of speed, and Powers has gone through ahead of Adrian Simon, although the gap is so small, I'd imagine Simon will quickly take that place.
Klaas and Joachim once again going wheel to wheel into turn 1. Joachim needs to come up with a different approach here because his brother's got him covered off on all angles. He's got to come up with something else, like think outside of the box, because right now he hasn't got what it takes to best his brother. No,
absolutely not. As that then is Adrian Simon right behind Nathaniel Powers then for what is net second in this race. I think that's very quickly going to go the way of the reigning world champion. But it's Ruiz who is in the net lead of this race, and the gap he'd pulled to Nathaniel Powers in just a handful of laps. I think that really puts Ruiz's favourite even over Simon on the soft tyres.
I'd say so. Simon would have to pull out something incredible.
Yeah, and if Simon's going to have a chance of this, he has to pass Powers now.
Look at the ever-increasing track temperature, up to 34 degrees now. It is roasting out there for the drivers.
It certainly is, as the train led by Klaas van Snelheid are rapidly... that's a first stopped on the start line. I think that is Douglas Bacon.
Marshals clearly haven't had to work here in a while, as they are terrible with their yellow flags.
I was thinking that. We haven't actually seen one at all this race, have we?
We didn't have one when Chiara stalled on the grid. We didn't have one when Inman, Halverson or Harding broke down. We didn't have one when anyone came off. Which I haven't done, but still.
Oh, that is Sykes ahead of Wagner. As through past Nathaniel Powers then goes Adrian Simon. And now, look at that. Klaas van Snelheid and his little train of merry men Well, no, look at that, Marshall. He's just sat there doing diddly squat.
He's been sat there bashing one out for the whole race.
As
But it's 2013. Someone should have told me. I would have bought my terrible memes.
Okay. So yeah, Adrian Simon through past Powers into third place then as Kanga pits from the lead, which hands the lead of the race to Enrique Ruiz. Adrian Simon will go through into second. Is Powers going to go through into third? He is. And where is Kanga going to feed back out then? He's behind Elroy Wagner in 8th.
He's sunk pretty low there.
He has, and look at this then. This is the two Downtons going almost wheel to wheel. Klaas van Snelheid on the softer tyres, looking to take advantage of his teammate, who is, I'd say now, rather struggling on the hard tyres. The hotter it's got, the worse those hard tyres are performing.
Yeah, obviously worth noting, we have switched from Yokohama this year to Goodyear.
Yokohama?
That's what the tyres said on the side, I think.
No, last year they were Firestone and Michelin.
Branded by Yokohama. Moving on. So obviously, new tyre compounds, new performance ranges. Looks like the hards don't really have one. May as well put brakes on the car because they'll last about as long, and they'll give you about just as much grip.
Yeah, certainly seems like that, doesn't it?
Unless their operating temperature is like 40 degrees or above. We have to wait and see.
As Joachim then once again trying the inside move on his brother. That hasn't worked, and now that is going to give Sykes a run at the Franklin driver, but Judson just thinks slightly better of it. Let's not forget, he is staring at North Star's potential first points finish, and he's running in 6th. He's not going to risk throwing that away.
No, if I were Nick, I'd rather he just sat back and said, right, defend for your life, son.
Absolutely. I mean, let's not forget, this train extends down to 8th with a bit of a gap then back to the two Westwood cars in 9th and 10th. So I think, frankly, North Star would probably be pretty happy even with 8th.
Definitely. I think even with points they'd be happy. I mean, look at where everyone else is. You've got...
Absolutely. As Kanga dives down the inside of Elroy Wagner, let's not forget, Kanga is on fresh soft tyres while these guys are on a mix of older, medium and hard tyres. So he is going to have a pace advantage. There are a lot of cars though in front of him, but that is one past, and Kanga is up to 7th place as Klaas van Snelheid once again is behind his teammate, but doesn't look to be attempting to make a move, or is he going to? He looks up the inside of turn 3, he gets very, very close to Nathaniel Powers.
Powers not giving an inch there. That was great racing.
Absolutely, the two of them, clearly there are no team orders. I kind of wish there were at the moment though. I'd get them to just drive side by side and hold everyone up so that we could guarantee a podium.
Are you aware that's not how it works?
Yes, it is.
You need more cars for that, say 4 in a technical partnership.
Well, we have them, just unfortunately one is ahead and one is currently making his way rapidly through the field. As Alar Kanga proves my point and dives up the inside of Judson Sykes and moves into 6th.
His name is John Cena. I don't know.
What?
I don't know. So, is C1 closing in on Enrique Ruiz?
As Joachim van Snelheid is going to look once again to the inside of Klaas at turn 1. Surely that's going to give Kanga a run, and it has. He's swept straight around the outside already, and Alar Kanga is up to 5th.
That was a really good move, actually. He saw the mistake and he just pounced on it without giving it a second thought. Just great racing, really.
As that was the Ocelot. Carl Beckenbauer leaving the pits. As once again, the two Downtons look to go side by side. Klaas has gone for a move around the outside, but that's allowed Kanga a look up the inside. Is he going to ahead around the outside of the following corner. He's not. No, he can't quite get the get alongside.
Yep. My valued input, as ever. So we're riding on board now with Kanga, who he's got a good view of the behind of the Downtons now. We'll be hoping to give them a lovely showing of his.
I don't envy him.
Look at that, the two Westwoods are close together on track. Let's change the subject entirely. Look at that.
Very rarely do I manage to render Harry speechless.
Everybody manages to render me speechless. It's just the voices in my head that take over.
I consider that a victory.
Not the voices in my head.
No, as Alar Kanga sweeps around the outside of Klaas van Sjouwen, is he going to make it stick? He is! Alar Kanga is up into 4th. He's pulled 3 overtakes in the space of 2 laps.
This boy
and he's now after a podium.
Yeah, he's gunning for the last ever that podium. He wants it. He's hungry for it. But Powers is saying, come and get it. You're going to have to fight me hard for it.
Yeah, but let's not forget, Kanga is on the soft tyres, Powers is on the hards, and he's clearly struggling for pace at the moment.
But it's also wondering how much Kanga is taking out those tyres in making those overtakes.
Yeah, but he's only got to make them last another 2 laps.
You've only got to make them last another 2 laps.
Yeah, but those hard tyres are slow. Well, that's rude.
I'm rude.
Oh, as that was a squirm there from Kanga as he tries to get on the power. They're about to cross the line then to start the penultimate lap of this race. And I think this battle is going to go right to the wire. Kanga is in the slipstream. Is he going to look to the inside? He is. That could be a mistake then. He is down the inside of Nathaniel Powers at turn 1. But as ever, he backs out of it. Is that going to give Klaas a run to take back 4th into turn 2? It's not. Klaas gets right at the inside, but sideways through turn 2. Doesn't quite pull it off. He's got his brother breathing down his neck.
And Sykes is waiting for them all to come together and he can pick up the pieces.
Yeah, and take the podium.
Well, yeah, what a sensational first points finish that would be, as we see Kanga going round the outside now. Does Powers have a response? Does he have any grip left?
No, he doesn't, and Kanga is through, and Klaas is looking up the inside of his teammate as well. Doesn't quite make it stick. Joachim looks around the outside of his brother, but Kanga is through and away like a scolded cat into 3rd place.
I'm sorry, what? Away like a scolded cat?
Yeah.
Have you ever owned a cat, Bradley?
Yeah.
What kind of cat did you own? Because cats do not care when they're scolded. They just don't care. Oh,
it's a well-known expression.
Just missed a great move. Sykes is going wheel to wheel with Wagner. Wagner nearly took the place of him there, but the Russian was wise to his bumfoolery.
It's a well-known expression.
What, bumfoolery?
No, away like a scolded cat, or off like a scolded cat.
Apparently so is golf racing, but I didn't know about that either, so give me a break.
As we're now on then to the final lap of this rather eventful Australian V-Prix. It may have been a bit of a last-minute decision to come to Phillip Island, but I think it's been a bloody good one.
Well, yeah,
We have had some absolutely cracking racing here, as it's still going on. Ruiz, though, is coming up to the final few corners, and it looks as though he is going to take the opening victory of 2017. He now rounds the final corner of the first race of the season, and Enrique Ruiz for Franklin is going to win the Australian V-Prix of 2017. Adrian Simon, the reigning champion, is going to take 2nd place, and in 3rd, after an inspired charge in the final few laps, Alar Kanga will take the final podium position in his maiden race in Formula Virtual. Nathaniel Powers, he is going to hold on to 4th ahead of his teammate's brother, Judson Sykes, with a fantastic 7th place for North Star, their first points, and a whopping 6 of them ahead of Elroy Wagner, while the 2 Westwoods are going to round out the point scorers in 9th and 10th.
Yeah, it's interesting because we've had 4 double finishes in the top 10, so that's amazing, really. I think, anyway.
Absolutely. But I mean, this man today, Enrique Ruiz, he was disappointed with his qualifying. He only started 8th on the grid, but on those medium tyres, he's absolutely put in one of the best performances out there today. He set the fastest lap on his way to victory, while this man Nathaniel Power started on pole but couldn't hold on the hard tyres. It's Enrique Ruiz then who wins the opening race of 2017, the victor of the Australian V-Prix. So Enrique Ruiz then wins the first race of 2017, the Australian V-Prix here at Phillip Island. It's Adrian Simon, the reigning world champion, and Alar Kanga on his debut, the two DS Mattershall cars, joining him on the podium. Pole sitter Nathaniel Powers can only manage 4th, while the second debutant, Klaas van Snelheid, is 5th, and Finn Schneider, the third rookie, also scores points. A few retirements there, including notably Johan Halvorsen of Meteor and runner-up last season Olin Inman at Fun. The Drivers' Championship obviously exactly the same as the race order. Judson Sykes there with his first points for North Star, and indeed North Star's first points, and that puts them in a good position in the Constructors' Championship. But it's Franklin and DS Mattershaw in a joint lead on 33 points each. Downton third on 22. North Star with their maiden points, 6 of them, they sit 4th. But that's all from our race here today at Phillip Island. So from both me and Harry, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time for round 2 from Sepang, Malaysia.